Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This is Khizra Akib in your online class of English literature. You are welcome back to your online classes. Today we will be discussing the 11th poem Barter by Sarah Tisdale. Sarah Tisdale is a modern American poetess. In this poem, she has enlisted many beautiful things which the life has to offer as a seller. But she has also highlighted a hard fact in life that there is nothing free of cost in life. We cannot enjoy the beautiful moments, the happy and playful moments without paying anything. And barter means exchange, to get something in the exchange of another thing, to get a thing of value by paying something else of value. For example, we get many things in our practical daily life in the exchange of money, and sometimes we get the things in the exchange of one thing or another. But there is nothing free of cost. We have to pay in the form of money, in the form of time, in the form of other things. The poem consists of three stanzas and there are 6 lines in each stanza. Hence, there are 18 lines in the poem. Let's start reading the poem. Life has loveliness to sell, all beautiful and splendid things. Blue waves whitened on a cliff, soaring fire that sways and sings, and children's faces looking up, holding wonder like a cup. Life has loveliness to sell. Life is full of beautiful things that we may enjoy, but by but by paying in the form of something else. What sort of things are there in life? All beautiful and splendid things. Life offers us all the beautiful and marvelous things. Splendid, marvelous, magnificent. Now, in the next line, she is going to give us examples of the beautiful and splendid things of the life. Blue waves whitened on a cliff, soaring fire that sways and sings. Blue waves. These are the waves of water that arise in the ocean, and they are turned white when they strike or collided by a cliff, by a rock on the beach. When these blue waves turn into white after colliding with the rocks on the beach, that present a beautiful view, beautiful sight for the eyes. So these blue waves striking the cliffs on the beach are a beautiful phenomena. Soaring fire that sways and sings. Fire is another beautiful thing in the life, and it looks all the more beautiful when there is wind all around. When the fire dances, when the fire dances with the wind, it soars high. Soaring, it raises high, it moves upward, soars high, that sways and sings. And when there is wind, it also spreads in the sideways, and it also produces a sound that is very musical. That's why the poetess is saying that the fire sings, and it is very beautiful and lovely scene to see the fire dancing upwards and in the sideways and singing and producing sound, and children's faces looking up. Another beautiful, rather very beautiful, or the most beautiful thing in the life is children. Children with their faces looking up, holding wonder like a cup. Why has the poetess said that children with their faces looking up? You know, when there are very young, little, small kids, when they see something new, they are surprised. They don't know the nature of the things, and for knowing about the things, they look upwards towards their elders, towards their parents or the elder siblings, so that they may tell them about the things which are present in their surroundings. Holding wonder like a cup. And when they see a new thing, their little faces give an expression of wonder and surprise. Their faces are filled with wonder, just like a cup filled with some milk or coffee or tea or anything else. Now, in this stanza, the poetess has used some literary devices. If we look at the first line, life has loveliness to sell, we may notice that the poetess has used alliteration here. Alliteration means the repetition of consonant sounds in the poetic lines. In the very first line, life, loveliness, uh, here here there is the repetition of the sound l, life and loveliness. Now in the fourth line, soaring fire that sways and sings. In this line there is the repetition of s sound, soaring, sways, sings. In this line there is another literary device applied by the poetess, that is the personification. Personification means to give the attributes of living things to non living things. In this line, the poetess has personified fire. We know that fire is a non living person and fire cannot sing. Singing is the quality of human beings or the other living things, but the poetess has given this attribute to the fire. So, this is an example of personification. Come to the next stanza. Life has loveliness to sell, music like a curve of gold, scent of pine trees in the rain, eyes that love you, arms that hold, and for your spirit still delight, holy thoughts that start the night. Life has loveliness to sell. In this stanza, the poetess has enlisted some other things that are there to be enjoyed in life. Music. Music like a curve of gold. Music is as precious as gold in human life because of its soothing power, because of the beauty it contains. Scent of pine trees in the rain, pine trees and their fragrance, particularly during the rain, that is also a beautiful thing presented by nature to the human beings. Eyes that love you, and the people who are very near and dear to us, and the people who love us are also a real asset in our life. And the loving eyes, the eyes that are looking with so much love towards us, is also a beautiful thing in our life. Arms that hold, and the arms that hugs us, that holds us in our worries, in our sadness, that supports us, they are also a beautiful thing in our life. And for your spirit still delight, holy thoughts that start the night. And the holy, the pious, the positive thoughts that comes to us in our hours of loneliness are also a beautiful thing. They illuminate our nights, the dark parts of our personality. In this poem, the poetess has again used alliteration in the very first line, that is, the repetition of the sound l in life and loveliness. Another literary device used in this stanza is simile, music like a curve of gold. In this line, the poetess has used simile. Music is compared with gold. Simile is a literary device in which we compare one thing with another thing by using the words like as, like, or so. Come to the next stanza. Spend all you spend all you have for loveliness. Buy it and never count the cost. For one wide singing hour of peace, count many a year of strife well lost, and for a breath of ecstasy give all you have been or could be. Now the poetess says that if we spend all we have for enjoying even a single moment of happiness, this deal would not be a loss. This would be a winning situation if we can enjoy a single moment of happiness at the cost of all we have. Spend all you have for loveliness, for beauty, for pleasure, for happiness, but it never count the cost. For one wide singing hour of peace, count many a year of strife well lost. If you are able to enjoy a one single hour of peace, of beauty, of music in your life, count many a year of strife well lost, then such a moment is far more precious than many a year, than countless years of struggle, of strife. And for a breed of ecstasy, give all you have been or could be, and for a single moment of ecstasy, extreme joy, and for the single moment of ecstasy, you may pay, you may give, you may shower all you have or you are able to have. In this stanza, the poetess has used hyperbole. Hyperbole means the exaggeration, to present the things uh, with exaggeration, to exaggerate the things. This literary device is used to heighten the effect of something. The poetess wants to highlight the importance of beauty, of peace, of music, of nature in our life, and that's why she has said that uh, if you lose all the wealth you have, all the things you have in your life, for a single moment, for a single breath of happiness, you at even then you have secured a win, you may say, deal. But the poetess has exaggerated the things, because in real life it is not wise to spend all the things on a single moment of beauty. People may not do this thing in their life practically. That's why uh, we may say that the poetess has used hyperbole here. We do not deny the importance of beauty, of happiness, of pleasure, of the company of nature in our life, but the poetess has exaggerated the things. However, the poem ends with the positive note that we must struggle for our mental peace, for our pleasure, for our happiness in the life. Okay, girls, this was all about the poem. I hope that you must have enjoyed the poem. Learn it thoroughly. Prepare the critical appreciation, MCQs, and short questions in the poem. Okay, girls, Allah Hafiz. Take